Interpreter, go ahead.
Can everybody hear me on this microphone?
Yeah, no, it is functioning.
Good morning. Announcement from interpreter. To use the interpretation feature, please scroll to the bottom of the Zoom screen where the meeting controls are. Click on interpretation icon, world, and select English as your language. If you're joining through the Zoom mobile app, cell phone, tablet, etc., please press the ellipsis, then interpretation, and then choose your language. Finally, click on mute original audio to not hear the original Spanish low in the background. Headsets are available for interpretation. If you're in the meeting room, please check out a headset from the receptionist in the lobby. Buenos días, aviso por parte del intérprete. Para hacer el servicio de la interpretación, favor de desplazarse a la parte inferior de la pantalla de Zoom, donde aparecen los controles. Haga clic en el icono de interpretación globo terráqueo y seleccione Spanish, español. Si está utilizando la aplicación móvil de Zoom, celular, tableta, etc., presione los puntos suspensivos, luego interpretación y luego el idioma. Si no desea escuchar el audio original en inglés en el fondo, por favor seleccione Mute Original Audio, silenciar audio original. Contamos con auriculares disponibles para el servicio de interpretación. Si se encuentra en la sala de reunión, favor de pedir auriculares con la recepcionista en el vestíbulo. Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you. You know what, I'm going to ask Mayor Ellerts to lead us off in the Pledge of Allegiance today, so please rise.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Michael, can you confirm a quorum, please?
We do have a quorum, Chair.
Thank you.
And just a heads up, Board, we're having some technical difficulties with the modules in front of you right now. So if you need a digital agenda, we have iPads on standby. I know some of you have your own devices, but if you need an iPad to access the agenda, just raise your hand and we'll get them to you. Thank you.
Anybody need an iPad? Okay, great. Thanks, Michael. And can you, that takes us on to non-agenda public comment, Michael?
Thank you, Vice Chair. For non-agenda public comment, for the purpose of civility and orderly meeting, we kindly ask that you refrain from using loud, threatening, profane, or abusive language. For our board policy, the amount of time allowed for each verbal public comment is determined based on the number of agenda items, the complexity of those items, and the number of persons anticipated to offer comment. This allows us to hear from as many people as possible and to complete our business while we still have a quorum. So based on those factors, the chair has determined that for today's meeting, each member of the public will be allowed 2 minutes for their comment. So Chair, we have 5 in person and we have 6 online.
Okay, please call that.
Let's do in person Truth, followed by Purita Javier.
On the SANDAG 2026 board retreat, $7,544 went to Cook and Schmidt for coordination and to book dinner speaker Mark Kohler because SANDAG clearly lacks staff. You know, how many thousands of people work here? Just as predicted, the Hamul Casino venue was offered for free so friends could do business with friends later. The meals were not free, but served at a 20% discount. The $1,730 breakfasts were scrambled eggs, bacon, turkey sausage links, sourdough toast, gluten-free wheat toast, potatoes, Greek yogurt, and muffins. The $888 lunch was romaine salad with tomato, cucumbers, avocado, churro beans, rice, chicken, and steak fajitas, bread and grease salsa, guacamole, corn, and gluten-free tortillas. The $768 dinner was garden salad, potatoes, veggies, salmon with lemon butter on spinach, portobello mushrooms, and herb roasted chicken on wild rice. The $341 beverages were coffee, tea, water, and soda with cookies for dessert, mostly in Memento. All food costing a total of $3,242. These wannabe kings and queens on the board also treated themselves to $197 hotel rooms on our tax dollars. Guests included Kevin in room 906, Carolina in 909, Vivian in 628, Terry in 706, Bruce in 510, Lauren in 910, Allison in 1105, Luz with no caps in 606, Jewel in 709, Esther in 518, Chris in 526, Lisa in 502, Ariana in 517, Kendall in 511, and Karina in 1111, all totaling $2,960. not including staff, security mileage, or wine, the total cost of the 2026 SANDAG board treat to the taxpaying residents of San Diego County was $14,892.97. All of those wasted tax dollars, and there's not even video to prove it ever happened at all. Is that how your council meetings work? Even Lemon Grove has audio. Every time one of you reference that exclusive hidden event, you spit in the face of the public who funded it. And for the record, the PR sent to me has the year 2027 on it, which proves that SANDAG is still made up of a bunch of idiots. And Lisa, I'm not sure about your look today, but thanks for being right side up.
Next is Rita Javier, followed by Cesar Javier.
Sir Chair, fire for effect.
Here. Cesar, thank you for reaching out to my office regarding your continued concerns over the air quality in your neighborhood and the Pieri. Next to your residence, we've reached out to the city's code enforcement department and the county's air pollution control district, who found no violations of either air quality standards or city code. I myself, you are interested in pursuing policy charges and invite you to contact our Director of Policy, Brendan Dentino, who can answer any questions about the process of updating city codes. He can be contacted at 619-53339. If you have any additional concerns that come up, please do not hesitate to contact Ben Mendoza at Mendoza.
Thank you. Your time has expired. Next is Cesar Javier, followed by allegedly Audra.
Unforgettable. Reinvigorated every moment. Our niece protected us all. She gave her best. The same flag that I wore to fight the owner of this ceramics hazardous business. I wore this flag, walked the walk, informed my neighborhood, and after 2 years, I was able to get their support and signatories. I gave this to Councilor Campillo at Navajo Planning Group meeting. I talked to every one of them, the 11 elected officials. We went to the attorney's office. Mom, could you help us? Oh, is it a criminal case or civil case? To my knowledge, bullshit. I am not here to get answer like that. And so, nothing. Forgive me to pronounce that word. I know it's bad, but the character they showed us, attitude we felt is something bad. I could not speak of any more word. I walk the walk wearing this. And up to now, I walk the walk reading the Constitution. Something is wrong in our city of San Diego. Something is wrong with the people who are supposed to be in the right position. People whom we elected, people whom we believe, only to find out that you see what's going on. We are destroyed inch by inch. from top to bottom.
Thank you. Your time has
Our-
expired. Next is allegedly Audra, followed by Shirley Weiss.
Yes, there is something very wrong going on in our nation and the world. And it's sad to see so many people just not paying attention to it. In fact, at one of these meetings prior and even at the last executive committee, I was questioning your guys' ability, and you're being compromised when we support people who bring forward bills who have sex with children. And instead of that bothering you, it bothers you that I'm saying it, and I need to, make sure that I'm staying on topic. That is on topic when you guys are supporting things like that. I don't understand how we can be in a place where abusing children is something that is just kind of accepted as just the way that life is. And so we can have people that are in such positions that engage in those things, and people on lower level positions who support them despite that. Because that means that they are compromised in their decision making, and they cannot be trusted to bring forward anything that is going to be beneficial to any human being. And it's like anytime I talk about the children, it's almost like Audra, stop talking about that instead of going, why is that happening? And that's the problem that we have, is that it falls upon deaf ears, and that's why it continues. I mean, the Epstein file should just be enough. All of you guys that hate Trump should be talking about that, especially with him being in it. I mean, I just find it interesting. You'll pick certain things as to what you find is important. And I would like to say that tomorrow at Ruoko Park at Deadman's Point, there will be a march to save our children that's happening worldwide. And so I ask you guys to come and participate and march with us around downtown if you do care about children. Because you claim it on one hand, but your actions speak louder than your words. So please show up. It's at 11 a.m.
Next is Shirley Weiss, followed by Camilla Rang online.
Good morning, distinguished members of the SANDAG board and Mr. Orso. My name is Shirley Weiss. I live in Del Mar. I've practiced law in San Diego for over 40 years. I'm a constituent of SANDAG and NCTD. Some people at your last meeting urged the board to make speed the #1 priority in selecting the Lausanne rail realignment route, and urged elimination of the Northern Yellow Line from consideration. The Coalition for Safer Trains has submitted a rebuttal letter. Please read it. Today, I want to emphasize the Northern Yellow Line is the only route that has overwhelming support by the community most profoundly affected and forced to host the rail realignment, Del Mar. The Northern Yellow Line is the route most resilient and adaptable to sea level rise. Unlike the other routes, it does not need flood walls or floodgates or their maintenance. It eliminates the need for eminent domain of homes and businesses and the related litigation. Governor Newsom identified eminent domain as the major delay factor in the LA to San Francisco failed high-speed rail project. The Northern Yellow Line avoids huge portals spewing concentrated pollution gathered from tunnels into coastal neighborhoods. It avoids grotesque, ugly portals in neighborhoods. It preserves the San Diego Lagoon, and it allows for restoration of the Los Penasquitos Lagoon. It is much less expensive to build a viaduct called for by the Northern Yellow Line than a tunnel, and easier to maintain. It would be built on public land. Yes, a strip of fairgrounds lands is public land, and the fairgrounds is getting an event platform free at taxpayer expense. Trains on an elevated viaduct would be safer than trains on tunnels under homes. A number of the speakers were young, so I cut them some slack, but the notion that this board should prioritize speed, 2 minutes of speed in the selection of a rail realignment route throughout Del Mar is not merely youthful naivete.
Thank you. Your time
It's-
has expired. Next is Camilla Rang online, followed by Andrea Ebbing.
Good morning, board members. This is Camilla Rang from Del Mar. There were a few public speakers at your last board meeting that had organized to speak against the train relocation route called the Northern Yellow Line because they claim it will add 2 more minutes to the travel time from Oceanside to San Diego. This is a trip that normally takes between 44 minutes to 72 minutes. First of all, I would like to dispute the 2 minutes. The train makes a full stop in Solana Beach at all times. If the train is going south, it will not have time to reach 100 miles per hour speed by the time it enters Del Mar and the fairground. Vice versa going north. Since the train will have to make a full stop in Solana Beach, it cannot rush into the station 100 miles per hour, but will need to slow down long before. In other words, the curve between the fairground and I-5 will not make any difference. Additionally, with the new fairground platform, the train will make yet another stop during all events such as the fair, races, concerts, etc. Combined, the fairground stop will likely be used for several months per year. When the fairground platform is in use, any additional minute that the Northern Yellow Line possibly could have contributed to will be eliminated. Second, and this is important, the Northern Yellow Line is the only line that will not require people to walk away from their homes and have them demolished. This is a humanitarian issue. There are people who have lived their whole adult lives in these homes, seen their children grow up in these homes, and were planning to live out their lives there. You can't just rip people out of the communities at an older age. The activists that condemn the Northern Yellow Line say, but they will get paid for their homes. What they don't understand is that these people bought their homes some 40 to 50 years ago. The taxes will be astronomical, and there will be no way they can afford to buy another house in Del Mar where they have all the friends and community. And we all know how important community is as you get older. To rip them up with the roots will kill these people. You cannot do it. It's inhumane. Thirdly, those who end up with a freight train and military tunnel under their homes will be exposed both to vibration and also the psychological fear of derailing and explosions of the transport hazardous material. If it was only light rail with passenger traffic, I don't think anyone would be particularly upset. But it's the freight train and the military freight which involves hazardous and explosive
Thank you.
material.
Your time has expired. Next is Andrew Ebbing, followed by Consuelo.
Hi, this is Andrea Ebbing. I am a whistleblower in San Diego who is exposing the RICO enterprise that is operating within our county and city under the direction of District Attorney Summer Steffen, her federal judge husband, Dana Sabrow, and city attorney sister, Raina Steffen. As a result, my life has been all but ended repeatedly by these people who do not want people to know that what we are doing is driving a homeless and addiction crisis for Prop 36 kickbacks for diversion programs. I went through a horrific violent crime, all of which was removed from ARGIS, all felony charges. My children were abducted. The child abduction unit did not help us. And when I had a ruptured aneurysm as a result of the stress, I had 2 coils put on my brain on November 4th, 2025. A $100,000 warrant was issued for a failure to appear for a benign hearing that I was formally excused for due to hospitalization, but they will falsify anything they want to in those courts. I was picked up on that $100,000 warrant when I had shingles, active shingles. I was denied my antivirals. My brain swelled due to 8 days of negligence at Las Colinas. I was released, and 3 days later, I was beaten mercilessly by San Diego Police Department. Anthony Warner. I have several broken bones in my face. He gave me a concussion. I have post-concussive syndrome. There's an open rape kit for Falk ambulance. When I got into the ambulance, they injected me with a needle while I was conscious, aware, and begged them not to. I do not know what substance was put inside of me, but I woke up naked in a hospital, bleeding, and they put more needles inside of me while I waited for the doctor. There will be massive lawsuits.
Next is Consuelo, followed by Paul the Bold. Go ahead, Consuelo. You seem to be self-muted.
Okay, Consuelo here. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so, gosh, what a world. You know, I've been coming to these meetings or listening in on them for a while now, and it continues to stand out that you guys are there's just I don't even know how to. I'm sorry, what I just heard about Andrea was pretty disturbing, so I'm just kind of thrown off. What a sick fucking world. And yeah. Back to business. Okay, so yeah, I've been coming to these meetings And there's a growing disconnect between what's being planned and what future generations will actually inherit. You guys talk about infrastructure, mobility, and regional planning, but rarely you talk about rights, about inalienable rights, about freedom of movement, not just as a concept, but as something that should be protected and not gradually restricted. So yeah, whether it's intentional or not, excuse me, whether it's intentional or not, the direction we're heading is one where the system becomes more centralized, more controlled, less flexible for the individual. And I just feel for the next generation because they're being raised into this without even realizing what's being shaped around them. And, you know, that brings up the trust issues. You know, people are starting to realize that SANDAG is more aligned with the global frameworks than with the actual needs of their communities they're meant to serve. Yeah, again, these systems, who they really are for is for the globalists and not for the
Thank you.
people
Your
of the
time
county
has
of San Diego.
expired. Next is Paul the Bold, followed by Blair Beekman.
Hi, Paul Bold. I'm not sure why I could hear whispering while Consuela was talking. I see that you canceled a discussion of internal controls by Ms. Pinckney Forrest on the draft agenda. I thought it was a good discussion when it was presented at the executive committee. I know that she took good notes. If the audit committee for last Friday hadn't been canceled, you could probably have made all or most of the improvements you and we mentioned. I also noticed that you scheduled a Reconnecting Communities workshop for National City and Southeastern San Diego on the 3rd at the last minute, and then the one for El Cajon on the 8th at 8:15 a.m. Is this to reduce the number of participants? And if used properly, the consent calendar is a helpful tool to make board meetings more efficient without being less transparent. Civil Code Section 4920D requires that an agenda be posted along with the notice of meeting, and Civil Code Section 4930A prohibits, with narrow exceptions, boards from discussing matters outside of the agenda. So even with the consent calendar, the items to be decided must be disclosed in advance. Some of the items you listed appear to be more pro forma votes acknowledging receipt and approving those items. In addition, items which call for more discussion and are not routine, like contracts or appointments, should not be on the consent calendar. Thanks for listening.
Our last public comment is Blair Beekman.
Hi, Blair Beekman. Sorry for what's going on with our public. It's sad. Good luck that we can all help and address such issues. Good luck in the work of tech accountability that can really address responsible practices and how we talk with each other and develop open democracy. It was really nice to hear counterpoint on previous public comment in the past few weeks on the importance of the tunnel idea for the future of rails through Del Mar. Yeah, to hear people go on the ideas of the yellow line and the problems with tunneling was nice to hear. It gave me choices in how to better consider the matter. I didn't know that military rail will be using the tunnel. I didn't know that. So does that also mean that military will be using the light rail? I thought the military was going to have their own separate rail system altogether. So that is a significant factor in how to consider if the slow grade yellow line or the tunnel is a better approach. I mean, there's two dangerous propositions in these ideas. We have to decide what is the less dangerous. Good luck how we do that together. Everyone's got good ideas. Let's hope we can work it out. Really good luck on working on ARGIS issues and knowing the difference between ARGIS and Jayhawk, and that there can be differences between the two surveillance data centers. And really good luck that with all the war going on in the world, we can still work on best practices here at the local level and be open with each other and deliver our best ideas. And when we do that, that develops ideas of peace and not war. And we're fighting more that way and not secrecy. Thank you.
That concludes our non-agenda public comment, Chair.
Thank you. For those who may have overheard, had my microphone on, so that's why you were probably hearing online the conversation between Mario and I. So I apologize for that. Just not used to this thing yet, turned on and off, I guess. But we have, I think, Robin, you wanted to speak for for members for non-agenda?
Yes, thank you. Last night we had Caltrans present in the unincorporated area in Ramona specifically on a controversial intersection project. And I wanted to thank Caltrans for their professionalism, their expertise, for explaining the Vision Zero goals and how that plays out on the dangerous highways, for building through analysis and a focus always on safety, how they were deciding and designing what sort of solution would be for this intersection, particularly Sam Amen, Karina Quintero Angel, Stephen Wellborn, and Tyler Hicks came out, and they walked the community who was skeptical about what should go on for that intersection, walked them through the process in a way that was respectful and clear and showed that Caltrans does care about their safety. I know that you do. But they demonstrated that last night. It was refreshing to see that, and it was well received by the community, and it built trust. So thank you for your presentation last night.
Thanks, Joy. Joy? Water Authority?
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Chair Minto. I'd like to provide an update from the San Diego County Water Authority. I'd like to report on a significant regional collaboration at yesterday's San Diego County Water Authority board meeting. We approved an exchange water delivery agreement with Eastern Municipal Water District. This is the second in a long-term regional water supply agreement, which will have benefits to the Water Authority in the long-term financial and partnership across the region and perhaps in the future across other states. So just want to make this board aware of what the Water Authority is doing, and this will put us in the position of having more water available across the region without the investment in new infrastructure. Thank you.
Great, thank you. I don't see any other members. Every year we do a survey so that our independent performance auditor can conduct an annual assessment and identify the risks that could prevent SANDAG from achieving its goals. So this process is done through an audit plan. And so this year is the first time, though, we're going to do this online where people come in and give their comments and whatnot. So there should be a QR code someplace. We're going to put that up. And you can, if we get the QR code up, anybody can log on to that, and it takes just a few minutes to take the survey, and it's going to be going all the way through April 24th. That's a Friday. So are we going to try and get that QR code up for everyone? Well, while they're working on that, I'm going to go ahead and have Mario give us his report.
Thank you, Chair. First of all, the SANDAG team wants to congratulate our former board member, Gil Cabrera, for being assigned magistrate at the U.S. District Court for Southern California. So we're very happy for Mr. Cabrera. This week, we took a trip to Sacramento regarding Senate Bill 1087. This is the bill that will be reforming Senate Bill 375, which is the one that requires a sustainable communities plan to be done every 4 years, and also the targets for greenhouse emissions. Very happy that the bill passed through the Senate Environmental Quality Committee, and it will be heard in the 21st of this month by the Senate Transportation Committee. So it's moving forward. Our Senior Director for Planning, Antoinette Meyer, was the one who gave testimony on this bill. Also, the following day, Antoinette also presented at a joint session for CTC, CARP, and HCD. And this was where to share some of the challenges that we have had, as well as successes on implementing SB 375. So this was also a very important discussion where different NPOs and other local governments presented the challenges and opportunities that changing SB 375 could bring, as well as where we are right now. Also this week, we met here in our offices with the Deputy Secretary of Cali, PA, and he shared some important funding opportunities that will be coming up through a Plastic Pollution Act. This is very important, and it lines up perfectly with our border resiliency plan efforts that we're doing. So we will be discussing more and partnering with some of the cities and the county to see the areas of opportunity to submit applications for this fund. This fund overall, it's going to be spread out into several agencies and then put out as grant opportunities, but it's about $500 million per year for 10 years. So it's quite a bit of funding, and it could be a lot of opportunity that could bring up if we can all work together and line up some possible applications. We also discussed with him the challenges that we're having with Environmental Screen, EnviroScreen, as it's going to its next phase of update. We are having some challenges codifying North County on the new model, so we are bringing that up to Cali, PA also. Our Director for Internal Controls presented her first quarterly update to the Executive Committee. Some of the There we go. Okay. Some of the major, I'm just checking if we're still online here. Okay. Some where we are with the Transnet audit recommendations implementing, talking about some of the, how to achieve some of the, that we have actually achieved an unmodified audit opinion from our audit, which we sent a note to all of you earlier. We're very happy about that. But bigger picture, I think it really generated a great discussion with the Executive Committee. We heard you loud and clear, bring up the challenges, bring up the good news, but also bring up the challenges, because you all want to help us to be successful, all are rowing on the same way. So we really appreciate that. There were several meetings that are going to be held regarding our grant that we got for the Reconnecting Communities. And this is a grant that we got through Caltrans, and there are several community engagements that will be coming up. And finally, we're having, regarding our construction projects, the construction in the Batiquitos Lagoon will be temporarily paused during the summer for the California nesting season. And then we will resume this work. The San Dieguito double track, we have already started pre-construction work. The crews have begun locating underground utilities, so you will be seeing crews working through the different areas, and we may have some slight impacts to the Coastal Rail Trail and Highway 101 in Solana Beach. And finally, we're still looking for 3 vacant public members for the audit committee. So we really encourage you to, we'll send some messaging if you think of somebody or want to share the information with somebody who could qualify. We're really excited to see if we could get some more applications for the audit committee. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much. It would figure that probably the only time I'm ever going to chair this is that we start having problems with all the equipment, right? Somehow I just have to blame that on Truth, though. She probably had something to do with that. So that takes us to the consent calendar, and I am going to pull item number 3.6, move that until after closed session, because we will hear information in closed session that will relate to the 508 wall stabilization project. Is there anybody that has any disagreement with that? Okay, I don't see any. Michael, do we have any speakers on the consent calendar?
We do, Chair. We have 4 in person. If you're online, please raise your hand now. Just a reminder, commenters, please limit your comments to items on the consent agenda only. Please state the consent agenda item you are speaking to. If comments are not related to the consent agenda, you will be asked to stay on topic. If you not stay on topic, you will be muted. So we have 4 in person and we have 4 online. Truth, followed by Cesar Javier.
Item 3.1, on March 27th, Lauren went missing by the consent calendar. There's a habit here. The minutes on the 10-minute retreat, 10-minute late retreat, are the closest the public has to knowing what happened with their $14,892 tax dollars, and yet the minutes specify that nothing happened at the 2-day vacation at the Humboldt Casino. Why can't the minutes even say what time each presentation started? And if Joe and Kent were the City of San Diego's 2 assigned seats, why did Vivian need to stay in a taxpayer-funded hotel room? So I give a lot of respect to Dane and Bill for not attending the Fraud, Waste, and Abuse SANDAG Circus Show. Item 3.4, what is a $48,000 high-intensity motor bus and $950,000 Mr. Crawford's Trust? I think we need an explanation. MTS will be getting $851 million over 5 years, which equates to $170 million tax dollars a year. NCTD will be getting $290 million over 5 years, which equates to $58 million tax dollars a year. So I'd say we're not getting our money's worth, but I do support the long overdue lighting upgrades and elevator and escalator repairs for MTS. I've been asking for I think 3 years ago. That's when I first said something about that. Item 3.5, I can't understand why this costs $5 million, but I approve of staff finally getting training in the setting of basic standards for things like cost and documentation that should have been baked into the cake on day 1, not after an auditor stepped in. Item 3.6 that I guess we're going to skip over to later. I am going to say I approve of surveys to ensure safety, but it's another major SANDAG flub. Item 3.7, roadway straightening for the 67 has been sitting since 2023, and it has 5 times less money programmed into it than the average $10 million SANDAG bike lane that remains empty. Item 3.8, I was accurate that SANDAG has a strong woman bias. 40% of applicants are female, yet new employees, current workforce, and promotions are all a way higher percentage. And ironically, diverse category doesn't come close, but it's okay, everybody lies anyways.
Next is Cesar Javier, followed by allegedly Audra. Please state the consent agenda items you are speaking to.
Consent 3.1 to 3.8. You know, elders are very observant, keen observant. These are processes, and we respect the way it is being executed, being implemented, with resources that are adequate, resources that are simply planned, if only to sustain the good, better, best delivery of public good, particularly on mobility transportation. We could only dream at our age. I think we are the eldest here, right? Happy birthday, April 7. We could only dream that somewhere in this Venn diagram, we could always put in our heart and mind preparedness. What for is physical development on transportation, circulation when no one is there. Mamagire, people are sick and dying, correct? You declared that in the county meeting. Are we prepared? That's the only thing we could contribute today because we want to live, enjoy this life. Councilor Lee, thank you, you're around. I am missing Councilor Rivera, Councilor Laqaba, and the mayor. These are the weak links as far as we know, and we are the evidence. Thank you, SANDAG, for this opportunity to amplify the heartaches, the pain, the suffering. Who will help us? That's the point. Are we prepared?
Thank you. Your time has expired. Next is allegedly Audra, followed by Mark. Please state the consent agenda item you are speaking to.
All of them, because this has to do with all of them. It's interesting, you know, living in a world that's totally inverted and seeing very clearly and coming and talking to people who are kind of like robots or Stepfordized people who don't really, you know, the truth is very visceral to like it's appalling, and it's so hard to take in. And for me, that's the way it is with lies. And, you know, the love of money is the root of all evil. And you guys are very good at going and getting your money. That's one thing that it's like gold star. You guys are fantastic at that. But actually doing your job and providing the things that you need to, you're failures at it. You're horrible. And it's interesting because it's like the truth is divisive. It divides like a sword. And when you guys are doing things based off of lies, that is very dangerous. Extremely dangerous. Because it puts people in danger of, you know, believing you guys and thinking and kind of praising you guys because they don't really understand and see what you're doing. But I know why you guys are so, you know, visceral to the truth is because God has given you over to a reprobate mind. So he's given you over to your delusion so that you can't see the truth. And that's why you guys don't act upon it. Like the fact that everything that you are doing is based off of fraud and lies and pretending to save the planet when that's not really happening. And you circumvent the will of the people when you do that, especially when you lie and you're telling them things that they believe are going to make their life better, but all they have to do is pay attention and look at you guys and listen to what you guys say and see how you're saying we need to change their behaviors and things like that. That's very dangerous as well. And so I can't give you guys like advice on what not to do other than that, which is to course correct and start doing things based on the truth.
Next is Mark, followed by Blair Beekman online. Please state the consent agenda item you're speaking to.
Mark 3.4, as for key considerations, the Federal Reserve is forcing an ever-increasing population into poverty, forcing them to use your buses and bike lanes that no middle-class person use or want. Our middle class is already almost vanished, as you can see in this YouTube video entitled Wealth Inequality in America. Instead of paying a good wage to the people doing the real work, corporations are doing deceptive programs to force us out of our cars, where we can be easily controlled on public transportation and autonomous vehicles with no way to get back our freedom. The violence is not the answer. If people cannot travel independently and organize through the internet or otherwise without surveillance, well armed with no government control of their land and homes, they cannot be free. This was enshrined in our Bill of Rights, which people are not aware or brave enough to have protected. And there's no time left to be ignorant. The end game of our artificial intelligence slavery is here now. Mark 3.5. If approved, staff will 1. Establish the Capital Program Management Support Cost Project within the financial system. Capital Program Management Incorporated is a California stock corporation. A California stock corporation is a legal entity that raises capital by issuing shares, granting investors ownership and voting rights, while providing limited liability protection. Having considered Capital Program Management's project scope, I don't want SANDAG to establish program-wide standards for compliance with protected investors making money off of the people writing this UN Agenda 21 bullshit. Our U.S. Constitution says we the people are sovereign, meaning no one reigns over us. It doesn't say anything about establishing compliance. So hell no, I do not want to establish the Capital Program Management Support Cost Project within the financial system, and neither does any other U.S. citizen. Do you directors ever
Thank you.
read
Your
this
time has
BS before you
expired.
approve it?
Next is Blair Beekman online, followed by Paul the Bold. Please state the consent agenda item you're speaking to.
Hi, I cannot think of its number off the top of my head, but it's the consent calendar item going into 2027 budget issues. If I can speak to that, please. As I speak, I'll give out his name. I can better speak his name. I just wanted to mention that with its item that 2027 Transit Capital Improvement Program 3.4. With this item, it's really important to myself that we have some serious budget issues to be worrying about for 2027 and onward. That I keep trying to point out the importance of developing new patterns and practices of financial upkeep, and that we can be doing things different. We were trying to do things different before the era of COVID started, and how to address our financial mechanisms, basically. We wanted to be developing new patterns, and more than just simply cutting services and raising fares. I mean, that's such a simplistic approach to how we can be addressing our issues. We can be much more advanced than that. And I don't say it's the cure-all, and I don't really know the depth of how to work these better systems, but they were seriously being talked about in the public space pre-COVID. And then COVID happened, and we've just gone into the same patterns of accepting 10 tons of money from the federal level and then having to somehow pay it back and charge the citizens for it. And what we're going through right now, we're going to cut services and raise fares. That's the wrong approach. And you guys know there's different ways to do it. Good luck in really working and implementing those good ideas for capital program management and budget issues for 2027
Thank you.
and
Your
onward.
time has expired. Next is Paul the Bold, followed by Andrea Ebbing.
Paul Bold, I agree with Ms. Weiss and Rang in support of the Northern Yellow Line. Avoiding condemnation of houses and explosives beneath should be a priority. 3.7, 2025 Regional Transportation Improvement Program Amendment 18. I'm all for SR 76 improvements promised years ago and long overdue. Plus, this is a huge safety issue, while according to reports I've seen, work on the Willows Eye interchange is virtually complete. This request includes a duplicate of CIP number 1131900, item 3.7. Please do not approve both. 3.2, policy pack actions. Budget time on May 8th. Time's up, pens down, as they used to say in Jeopardy. The feds and state have huge debt burdens and deficits, as do San Diego City and County, and people are unlikely to trust you with your inflated projections, continued corrupt actions, unimplemented audit recommendations, lack of transparency, and more. These are getting better, but you keep backsliding. So I'm not sure why you expect people to give you all the funds or taxes you beg for. And I'm glad the legislative recommendations passed. The audit committee was canceled on the 3rd. The report should reflect why there are cancellations for any of the committees. The public should know what's working, what isn't, and why. 3.3, meetings and events. Again, no details on what SANDAG contributed.
Thank you. Your time has expired. Andrea Ebbing is no longer online. We'll go on to Consuelo. Consuelo, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Yep, amen. Paul the Bold. Amen to Blair Beekman. That was strong. I loved what you had to say. Also, happy birthday, Mr. Cesar Javier. And yeah, okay. So one thing, okay, I'm speaking on, was it 4.2 or 3.3? Is there a 4.2?
This is consent, commenter.
Got it. But is there a 4.2 on the consent?
That's no.
Okay, so then 3.3. Okay, thank you, Paul the Bold. Anyways, okay, here we go. So, yeah, that retreat, you know, it was a lot of money wasted. Gosh. Mario said earlier, mentioning something about growing successfully. And quite frankly, this agency is not growing successfully when an entire demographic of people within our county are being ignored. And a silly retreat. You continue waiting. These retreats.
Consuelo, you're cutting out. Your audio's cutting out.
My audio is what?
Your audio is cutting out, Consuelo.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so, okay, I don't even know where I left out, but like, yeah, those retreats are, it's terrible that you guys spend so much money, waste so much money. It's infuriating.
Consuelo, but your time has expired. Thank you. That concludes our public comment on consent, Chair.
Thank you. Are there any member comments on consent? Not seeing any. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Who was that? I didn't.
Second, Sanchez.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Did you get that, Michael?
I had Gasserlin with a second by Sanchez.
Okay. Thank you. Please vote.
And just for the record, this is for the consent agenda minus item 3.6. Mayor's no.
The mayor's. Not important.
Okay.
Mayor Snow is aye. We'll close the vote. The motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That takes us to closed session now. Do we have any, Michael, do we have any comments on closed session?
We do have
Speakers,
public. Yes, we do have public comment on closed session. We have 4 in person. If you're online, please raise your hand now. This is for closed session. First is Truth, followed by Caesar. This is for closed session. All 3 items, 4.1, 4.2, and 4.3. Truth, followed by Caesar.
I was told I deserve more SANDAG sandwiches for being here. Of course I do. But I don't know if Allison can be my favorite mayor with that voting style. It's reconsidering. It's in closed session, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. $15.6 million fix of Trolley Wall 508 by Corden Johnson, who's already had a year-long delay. Has SANDAG sued Group Delta, HDR, and the building construction trades yet? That's all that really matters. The claim filed by Patrick Hughes on behalf of Ronald and Nicole Ruette for their 27-year-old deceased son, Maxwell, is a very sad story. He died in Vista on the Inland Rail Trail because a stupid drunk driver hit him and ran from the scene. He may have had issues, but he certainly didn't deserve that. Again, I bring up how SANDAG has failed at educational opportunities on these types of safety issues. And it's more proof that these $1 million a mile bike lanes are not safe. Because if you're in the street with cars, you're not safe. And there's no green paint or barriers that are going to change that. Sidewalks save lives. Maybe you guys should have saved that retreat money to cover your butts in these cases, though, because the February 5th Hot Systems LLC versus SANDAG and the $5 million to $1 billion company, Neology Inc., in San Diego, a case on property rights and property infringement with serious accusations. I mean, unlike progressives, I actually do believe in due process and not just talk about it. But I also don't have faith in SANDAG as a proven criminal history that hasn't been prosecuted nearly enough, especially in regards to the 125 toll fiasco. And now in regards to the flex switchable toll transponders and their RFID tech to protect users' privacy. Not that SANDAG's ever cared about people's privacy. And considering that this board couldn't even ensure a public recording of a major publicly funded event, basic technology, and you want people or a judge to believe you would ensure you own the basic technology to operate a toll, you went into severe debt to purchase. It does not build confidence. It just makes you go, wow, super corrupt. How much did Neology make on this deal? Did they ever make any campaign donations to anyone on this board, past or present? Because that just makes me go, you know what? More PRAs. Thank you for making me do more work. I'm going to talk about more PRAs soon.
Next is Caesar, followed by allegedly Audra.
Not here.
Caesar's not here. We'll go ahead and go to allegedly Audra, followed by Mark.
Okay, this lawsuit alleges that you guys' fast-track flex switchable toll transponders used in high occupancy toll hot lanes infringe on patented radio frequency identification RFID technology owned by Hot Systems. Why on earth would you guys use that kind of a technology? I mean, who has got into this? This just shows like your guys' negligence and how ridiculous it is that you would spend a lot of money to get this. But being such a big company, how could you not know that there's a patent out on that technology? I just find it very negligent to be like, and then here we're going to have to be spending probably quite a pretty penny to make up for this mistake. And this is the kind of bullshit that happens where it's like, I mean, these people are working out very hard right now to get you guys money that we have to pay for your mistakes. This should have been a clear, like this should never have happened. So who along the way allowed this? And now, like, does any money go to making our life better and transportation better? Or does it get shuffled around being used for litigation because of the negligence and things that are trying to be hidden? So did somebody know this and they didn't do anything about it? I think that needs to be audited, the whole thing, this whole system, because you guys are planning on bringing more of these lanes forward. And it's like, if the technology that you have, all of those transponders right now are costing us even more money. So you need to course correct before you implement anything else like this and figure out whose problem, who did this, whose decision was it to do this, and hold them accountable, because they should be paying for this mistake, not us. It's absurd. Again, people are working very hard just trying to make ends meet. And this kind of shit goes on, and you're just taking more and more money from them.
Next is Mark, followed by Blair Beekman online. Closed session, items 4.1, 5.2, or 4.3.
Mark, core allegation, Hot Systems claims that the switchable toll transponders, which allow drivers to toggle between high occupancy vehicle, HOV, and toll modes, use technology that infringes upon their intellectual property. Specifically RFID devices with a mechanical switch to change operating states. First, I agree with everything that Audra said. Nothing about this surprises me, though, because government, I don't even believe in mistakes. Everything you guys do, the amount of money everyone gets paid for every little move in government is just incredible. So if government has screwed up, which it totally has, and you guys do all the time. By the way, I want to say specifically SANDAG. People need to see the Rosa Corey video. Rosa Corey Part 1, that'll bring up the longer title. Corey is Koire, and it specifically talks about groups like SANDAG. She does, and she's an expert that was a chief district manager for the Department of Transportation. Her expertise was in land use, property valuation, and eminent domain. And she could be an expert witness in a court. One of the people they'd accept as her word is it. And she specifically said that UN Agenda 21 is real. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy fact. And SANDAG is one of the main organizations that's implementing it. So people need to see that video on YouTube. Rosa Corey Part 1 will bring it up. The real title has something like Beneath the Green Mask. So none of this surprises me. It's total corruption. Everything is intentional. It's very, very rare that something's unintentional in government, especially if it screws us completely and totally. You think that the...
Thank you. Next is Blair Beekman online, followed by Paul the Bold. Please state the closed session agenda item you're speaking to.
Oh, thank you, Blair Beekman. Well, I don't know the numbers, but I think there are 4 of them, and I wanted to speak to 2 of them. Yeah, so Blair Beekman, thank you. Sorry if my words were a little strong on the previous item, but hopefully you know what I mean. Sometimes we get a little passionate. Thank you. Sorry about that. About the item about use whoever openness and accountability with tech. I'm sure you've been going with that item, the litigation process, and that open and accountable tech practices really does help mitigate litigation concerns a lot. So good luck what you can do to always be thinking the next step of best practices in open tech accountability practices that can help these sort of situations happen with good responsible practices. And to conclude on the item 4.3, you have 3 items on closed session. Thank you for just its explanation. You gave a very nice explanation about damages arising from personal injuries occurring on an inland rail trail. And it was just nice to get that understanding on a closed session item. Thank you for that. I think it's nice to offer clarity, and it makes the public process a lot easier and clear and just better conversation instead of having to hold to the uptight codes of policy practices. Thank you for what you've done for this item. Thank you.
Our last public comment is Paul the Bold. Please state the closed session item you're speaking to.
Paul Bold, 4.1 conference. Clint Peace means capital improvement projects must be involved. Doug McManaman and Myers are attorneys. So is this about the Lausanne corridor? Maybe coastal access denied? Maybe residents don't like the city dug up and trains under their houses? And I doubt Salona Beach is happy with expropriated houses either. Or is it something like Sorrento Valley wanting the complete Blue Line trolley as promised? But actually, it's probably the Wall Street stabilization thing. 4.2, the hot systems versus SANDAG, a patent infringement case. SANDAG seems to be making and modifying fast-tracked transponders and other switchable transponder tech without actually paying royalties to the patent holder. If you're building hot systems, better settle before they're boiling mad. 4.3, claim on behalf of the Ruets as successors in interest for their son. We keep telling you how dangerous the new bikeways are. Allowing a drunk driver to drive for 4 miles on a bike trail is a new one. But this comes as no surprise. SANDAG seems to totally ignore safety, most of the time at least. Brace for more of the same. And you'd better settle this one right away, because I can smell a huge settlement, and we don't want to pay, quite frankly, as taxpayers.
Thank you. Your time has expired. That concludes our public comment on closed session, Chair.
Thanks a lot, Michael. Okay, at this time, I'd like to ask anyone that is not a member to please retire to the foyer, the waiting room, or whatever you like to call it. Can you please report out?
Thank you, Vice Chair Minto. Yes, the board met in a closed session to discuss three matters, items 4.1, 4.2, and 4.3 on the agenda. The board provided direction to staff on items 4.1 and 4.2, and there is one reportable item on agenda item 4.3. The board considered and the board denied the claim filed on behalf of Ronald and Nicole Rouette as successors in interest to their son, Maxwell Rouette. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. So we're going to take item 3.6 now, which is the Wall 508 Stabilization Project. Do we have any, well, we're going to go to presentation first. Are we missing somebody, Dave or Glenn?
We are not.
Okay, let's go.
Because it was on consent, we're just going to talk about.
Okay, I'm not hearing you very well.
I'm so sorry. Generally, this.
It was on consent.
It was on consent,
Yes.
but we can talk about the item. The item is requesting the board to approve a $2.2 million change order from the original budget of the 508 wall to continue or finish their current mitigation. And we're requesting the board to also approve a $4.1 million increase to the budget to continue studies of the site and additional counterfort walls and monitoring of the existing wall.
Thank you. Do we have any public comments on this?
Mr. Chair, I believe the public comments on all of the consent was already taken up.
Except for this item, because
okay, I thought it was included this item.
Pardon me?
Apologies. My understanding was this item's no longer on consent. We're just handling it as a regular matter.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So
we do have public comment on this 3.6 that was pulled. We have a public comment in person by Mark, if he's still here.
No.
Now we'll go to Paula Bold online. This is item 3.6. Go ahead, Paul, you're muted.
Yes, I was muted. Let me on my speech here. Okay, the staff report says that staff proposed 3 phases to ensure counterfort walls, that is, walls with the triangular concrete braces, meet original design criteria. Why is this being done if the original failed prematurely? Phase 1 of the project is not even finished yet, but now you want to subsidize future costs. That's kind of silly. So this amendment adds $4.1 million to the cost, including for future projects, which may not be even necessary. It includes additional site investigation and legal services. The investigation should already have been done. And why do you need legal services when they weren't there before? You seem to be pros when it comes to overestimating costs. Kind of like the budget apparently ignoring that the feds, state, city, and county are all in dire financial straits and will probably not be able to give you all the money you want when you want it anyway. So, you've got to be realistic about this. And I mean, you shouldn't go overboard and request all sorts of legal services when you probably don't need them. And I mean, why should we pay for this? Thanks.
Thank you, Paul. Your time has expired. That concludes our public comment on this item, Chair.
Thank you. I move staff's recommendation.
Second, I have a motion. Is there a second? Is there any other public comment? Member comment?
I'll second it.
John, second. Okay, I don't see any more discussion. Please vote.
That passes unanimously with those members present.
Great, thank you very much. And this concludes our meeting. The next Board of Directors meeting will be April 24th at 9 a.m. This meeting is adjourned.